Hello everyone and welcome to Big Pharma. This is a game all about building a factory that makes drugs. That's the pharmaceutical kind for all feds who are watching. And as with all good factory games, it's really quite complicated. There's a lot of moving parts that all work with each other. So I'm probably not going to get to everything today, but I'm going to do my best to cover the basics. And for those who want to go more in depth to it, link as always will be in the description. As you can see, I've played this for a bit. I haven't done the full shebang yet. But for today, I think we'll just start off with bottom line, where the only goal is to make $1 million. And first, we get to choose our company name. Definitely Legal Drug Co. That sounds like a great name. And we're in. So, we have this space to build our factory, and we can buy plots of land to expand out. But we need to start off with importing an ingredient. And here are the ingredients we have so far. And the important things to note with them is that you can see here, they both have these two things right here. The red ones are side effects, and we want to avoid these. And the green ones are effects, and we want to have these. And in this case, both of these have one benefit and one side effect. And so you may be asking, how do we make sure that we don't have side effects, but we do have the effects? Well, we have the saturation value on each of these. And the effects and side effects will only be active at certain saturation values. For example, this one, it's active, this effect, removes warts, is active for saturation values of 11 to 16, and the side effect of causing pins and needles is active for saturation values 3 to 14, and it starts off with a saturation value of 18. So this seems like a good thing to import, and here we have it. We have an Abane crystal, which has all those effects as we saw before. So we want to activate this. We want to activate removes warts. And to do that, we'll need to decrease the saturation value to 16. So how do we do that? Well, we have these machines over here. I'm sorry, a concentration value. So we have this machine here, a dissolver, that will decrease the concentration value by 1. So if we look inside here, there we go, concentration reduces to 17. And we get out here. We have an Abane distillate, which is the same thing, but concentration of 17. We need to do that again. And here, we now have a concentration of 16, and removes warts has lit up in green, which means that it is active. As you can see down here, our current profit for this is now $76, because the remove warts gives us $130, but we have $20 in processing costs, plus $34 in raw materials, so that adds up to the profit of $76. Now we can't actually sell this directly because this is just a material. So we need to make it into something. And we have a pill printer right here. So let's plonk this down over here. And let's run a belt into it. So as the solution approaches the pill printer, it prints, and out pops a pill. And here we go. We have an Abane pill. Has a profit of $76. And now it's gonna export. But first we need to name it.
Name required.
Definitely Wart Reliever. Sounds like a great name. And now that will start getting exported. And we are now starting to make money. Now, one thing that you may notice is that there's a bunch of backed up stuff here, and that's because this printer, this pill printer, has a process time down there of 2, whereas all these have a process time of 1. So to make sure it's running smoothly, put down another one. And connect it all up. And now they're working together. And everything is running smoothly. And our main goal here is to earn a total revenue of $1 million before January 1st of 2025, which, since this game was released in 2015, is 10 years away. We earn the expert rank if we earn $3 million in that time, and the master rank if we get $10 million in that time. And as of right now, we've earned 1,000 after about a week. Because yeah, each of these ticks, each of these time units, that represents 1 day. And what good pharmaceutical company would we be if we only had one product? But since both of these doors are being used by this remove warts product, we should really expand. Now let's take a look at that other ingredient we have. Now, the problem that we run into with this one is, as you can see, narrows pupils as a side effect is already active because that's the default concentration. And in order to make it inactive, we need to increase the active range, or we need to increase the concentration to 9 because this goes 1 to 8. So we need to increase it to 9 in order to deactivate it. And we're already at 2. So that means that we'll need a lot of evaporators, because an evaporators increase concentration in order to get that done. So let's do that. So now if we follow this through, now that we've evaporated this once, it still has a side effect of narrows pupils, which will drive down sales, and we can't have that. And then we have to go through all of this. Oh, I've done that wrong. Wait, hold on. They have to go through all of this in order to actually take that side effect off, which does cut into our profit, but it should boost sales. Now let's just go connect this up.
Product name required.
All right, and let's name this definitely Sore Throat Beater. Sounds like a great name. So even though we are making $151 off that, off each pill, which is more than the $150 this is making, it's still only getting us a profit of $26 because it has to go through all of this. Now you may be wondering, how do we get more cures? Because surely it isn't just these two. Well, there's two ways. The first is to upgrade these. So in order to upgrade removes warts, we need to have a concentration between 13 and 15 and then send it through an ionizer. And let's try that. If we look here, wait a minute, we don't have the ionizer. Well, that's where the research tab comes in, because we have this massive tech tree. And since this is just the beginning, this isn't the full thing, but it's all the basic stuff. And here's the ionizer. We need to have a researcher. Let's hire 2 of them and set them to work on these, because the agglomerator is just the reverse of the ionizer. And both of these are just the more intense versions of the dissolver and the evaporator. The ionizer reduces concentration by 3. Agglomerator increases the concentration by 3. Both of these just do 1. But they're more expensive, but they take up far less space. And in order to upgrade, and if we look here, also in order to remove side effects, we do sometimes need specific devices. And while they're researching on that, the other way to get cures is to find new stuff in the wild. And we'll need explorers for that. Let's hire 3 of them. But they will now start working along, getting stuff done. And this is probably going to send me into debt. Yeah. But hopefully that'll pay for itself soon.
A competitor has released a new product.
A competitor has released a new product. Oh no, he's added competition to my remove warts drug. How rude of him. So that will likely mean, so if we go over to the company setting, this will increase the saturation of the medication, which might reduce the amount of money we could possibly sell this for. But in the beginning, that's not too much of a concern.
A competitor has released a new product.
Oh, this time he has released Treats Diabetes. I don't have that ingredient unlocked. So he's going into the open market there.
New ingredient discovered.
All right, just slightly in debt right now, but we've discovered our new ingredients. That means all of you are fired. Right. So here are the new ingredients we've got. We've got a shimmering Vicololis crystal, which can help treat diabetes. We got the desensitized Zelica juice, which can soothe cold systems, but it does also narrow pupils, and we'll need to do the same. Wait, no, that's the one I already had. Wait. Never mind, I confused myself. So the new ones, we got the bruised jellyfish amber, which is an antihistamine, and that should be pretty easy. I'll just need an evaporator to get that in range. The shimmering Vicolulius crystal can treat diabetes. I'll just need a dissolver for that. And the calms acid reflux, that I'll just need an evaporator for, but it does have this guy as it encourages anxiety. And you see this here, this is a catalyst. That effectively means that sometimes when upgrading, you need to have a catalyst on the ingredient in order for the upgrade to actually happen. And that makes things way more complicated, but we're not going to get into that right now. For the meantime, I'm in a bit of debt, so I'm going to go take out a loan. Let's go with this one. And I'm going to get a new plot of land for this. All right, one of these just needs an evaporator, the other just needs a dissolver. What I'm going to do is I'm going to rearrange this so that that can come out of there instead of out of here, so I have that open.
Research complete.
Oh, my research is complete. I have now unlocked the ionizer and the agglomerator. And let's go put those research to do some basic auxiliary, because this over here is where the game gets interesting, and we'll get to that later. But in the meantime, let's set up one of these to use an evaporator. Let's do this one and have it go over there. All right. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, I messed up a bit earlier and I miscounted this, so I do have just some evaporators over here. I probably should have used them. But yeah, there's no penalty for just moving stuff aside, but you can also sell them, and you don't get as much money back as what you bought for. So you may as well just put them aside and reuse them later. But at some point you may not have so much money that you don't care. And let's put the dissolver over here. And so which one required the dissolver? This one. And let's move the dissolver a little bit further up just so we can fit these printers in. All right, that's all good. And let's wait for this to empty out and move this stuff around so that this can fit. Beautiful. And let's get this pill printer stuff over here. Right. Oh, and I need to actually import it.
Product name required.
All right. Definitely Diabeto Reducer. Sounds like a good name.
Product name required.
And definitely Allergy Soother. Sounds like a great name. And now we got a lot of pills being made. And we are actually making a profit now. Not much of a profit. And it seems to be decreasing constantly. What's going on there? Oh, that's right, because this guy I reorganized, so there was a bit of a gap there. But now we're back up. Let's go. And let's buy this parts of land. And let's go over some upgrades. So what's a good thing that we can upgrade easily? Let's go over this one. So this one, as I mentioned earlier, this one has calms acid reflux. It also has a catalyst we'll go over. But one of the things you can also do is you can remove side effects. So this prompts sleepiness. That just needs the concentration within range 14 to 19, and then you need to send it through an ionizer. But also, this can be upgraded with a concentration of 16 to 18, and then sending it through an evaporator. So if we can get this thing up to 16, we can then send it through an evaporator, and then immediately send it through an ionizer to get rid of that side effect. And that'll upgrade that and get rid of the side effect. And sending it through this evaporator upgrades it to alleviate stomach ulcers, which is conveniently right in the middle of this side effect, so that's fun. And then if we send it through an ionizer, that gets rid of that side effect. And sometimes in situations like these, you just gotta bite the bullet, because there's no way to have this effect without having this side effect. So let's just send this through 2 more dissolvers to get this side effect and then print it, but the pill will induce anxiety, which is not something that we really like. but what you gonna do?
Product name required.
All right. Definitely Stomach Sore Stomper. Sounds like a great name. And this one, since Alleviate Stomach Ulcers is a level 2 cure, it's worth more. And so the net profit of this is much higher than the net profit of these. And so we get more money from it, despite the side effect that it has. I don't know if the side effects actually like decrease the value. I think it might just reduce demand for it. Especially if it's like the competitors have it. And our research is complete. Right, so that was basic auxiliary, which means that we can send researches to the multi-mixer, which is where we take ingredients and we mix them together to have multiple effects. And it's also how you can get catalysts onto other medications, because the effects that need the catalysts don't always come with the medication that has the catalyst. Yeah, this is where the game starts to get really, really complicated, and it's also where I think I'm gonna leave it. This has been Big Pharma. I'd like to thank you all very much for watching, and I hope to see you again real soon.